So in this video I'm going to change the manual transmission oil in this 2014 Hyundai i10. So this car's well over 11 years old now, but it's very low mileage. It's only done 30,759 miles. So you wouldn't have thought it would need an oil change, but the reason why we're doing it is on cold mornings my daughter is really struggling to select any gear. So hopefully putting some new oil is going to solve that. And it's a very quick and easy job. And in the user manual, in section 8, page 6, under specifications, you can see here that the manual gearbox with the 1 litre or 1.2 engine takes 1.9 to 2 litres of oil, and it uses GL-4 70W. And this is what I've got: 2 litres of Ravenol MTF-4 professional line 70W. So I've got the car up on the 4-poster lift, which makes this a really quick and simple job to do. But you can do this with the car on the ground. If you just drive the car on some blocks or bricks under all 4 wheels, so it's level, you can just get under here and do this while it's sat on the ground. You just need to make sure the car's level. And the gearbox is on the near side, at the front obviously, because it's front wheel drive. So this is your gearbox. And there's your drive shaft there going to the front wheel, and you've got to look for 2 bolts, the drain plug and the fill plug. And the way you can identify them is if you look around the gearbox, you can see the bolts holding the gearbox on to the rest of the housing here, and we're looking for bolts which are different. So we've got a big one there, and that is your drain plug, and then up here we've got another big one the same, and that is your fill plug. And it's always good practice to take the fill plug out first, because if you take the drain plug out and you drain all the oil and then you find you can't take the fill plug out because it's chewed up, too stiff or whatever, then you're absolutely snookered. So undo that one first and then drain the oil out from the drain plug. You need a 17mm socket or spanner for both. And you will find, if it's the first time this has been done and it's an old car like this, they're going to be very stiff. There's also another advantage of taking the fill plug out first, is that it lets the air in. So when the oil drains out the bottom, it drains out nice and smoothly and doesn't glug. And as you can see from this one, a little bit of oil is coming out of the fill plug. So just be ready to catch that. So now we can crack open that drain plug there. Oh, nearly missed that. That's coming out with quite some force. But that oil does look very clean as well. Not surprised for only 30,000 miles really. So both the drain plug and the fill plug are identical, and they're an M16, and ideally you want to change the washers on these, and you can get away without changing the washers a lot of the time, but if they're in poor condition you certainly want to change the drain plug washer. And these are M16 internally by 24mm. And you can buy a kit of aluminium washers like this. I think I got this on Amazon. I'll link it in the video description below, where you've got all sorts of washers to fit different drain plugs. And in this case, I've got M16 by 22 here. So that will do just fine. That's going to seal that nicely. So I'll fit 2 new washers as I've got them. So next, with the oil drained, I've put the drain plug back in with the new washer, and we torque this up to 70 Newton meters. So next, we've just got to get the 1.9 to 2 litres of oil back in, so that's both bottles. So we could try using the tube and squeeze it in from underneath. I'm going to use a syringe and do it from underneath. Or the other option you've got is put a hose in here and take it to the top of the engine bay, and using a funnel you can pour the oil in from above. So as you can see, I'm using the syringe. I find this is the best method, least messy. And then push that in, syringe at a time, until it starts dribbling out like it is now. So that's now full. And then put the fill plug in and torque that up to 70 Newton meters as well. So this gearbox is meant to take 1.9 litres of oil. So that's near enough for 2 bottles, but I can see on here that's at 400 millilitres. So this has only taken 1.6 litres of oil. So I've now jacked the front up a little bit just in case this wasn't completely level, to see if I could get any more oil in, and I couldn't. So when I first removed this drain plug, oil was draining out of it. So it clearly was slightly overfilled from the factory. So would that be why the gears are stiff when it's cold? Would having too much oil in there make the gearbox stiff? And now, have I got the right level? That would sort of make sense. But I've only got 1.6 litres of oil in here, and the manual says 1.9. But clearly I can't get any more in without jacking it up at a ridiculously steep angle, and you're not meant to do that. It's meant to be level. So if you've got any suggestions or comments about that, let me know in the comments below. So that's all done, and it doesn't feel any different to drive, but then I wasn't really expecting it to, because we're using exactly the same spec of oil. What will be interesting to see is if this is any better on a cold and frosty morning. So not surprising, this oil change hasn't made any noticeable difference. But of course this is a low mileage vehicle, and the original oil was very clean still, and I've used the same spec oil. The i10 is notorious for clutch issues, so maybe that's the cause. But a gearbox oil change is so cheap and easy to do on these, it's worth doing anyway. All the links to everything I've used is in the video description below, and if you found this video interesting or useful, please do click the thumbs up, that really does help. Do subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see other videos on this Hyundai i10, in the video description below is a link to a playlist where you can see other videos I've made. Okie doke, I'll see you on the next one. If you like the video, please do click the thumbs up button, and leaving a comment also helps too. Plus of course subscribe if you're not. There's the super thanks button if you'd like to go further, especially if a video has saved you time or money. There's over 1,200 videos on the channel, so have a browse, use the search, and have a look at the playlists. And here's 2 videos you may want to check out.